Due to circumstances, today I ended up in the ground zero of the depopulation that Spain is experiencing. This place, in just 1 century, has lost 40% of its population. The vast majority of the municipalities in this province do not exceed 8 inhabitants per square kilometer. At the beginning of this improvised journey, I wasn't really sure what I was going to find, or what incredible places I would end up discovering. How's it going, YouTube family? Today I'm in Soria. You just saw some great aerial shots because I came here with Virgilio, who bought a car nearby and will show it on his channel. I won't spoil anything, so stay tuned. I think you'll really like it. Let's get to the point. We came here so I could meet a friend in this area and see if we can film a village or something interesting nearby. We're going to try meeting a friend nearby who I want you to meet. He might show us some beautiful places and maybe we can interview someone since this area is called Empty Spain. Is there a reason for that? And as you can see, no matter where you look, plus we're in a part of Spain where there's just nothing. You have to travel long distances on national highways, and these places are quite isolated, so let's go there. Well, family, here's an update. My friend, I couldn't meet up with him because he had an unexpected family issue and had to put our plans on hold today. I think I'll see him tomorrow, but I also want to say, you may have noticed from the thumbnail, we've come to a village where a 90-year-old woman lives alone, without electricity or any amenities. You've already seen the aerial shot of us arriving by car. And well, as soon as you arrive, you find what used to be the church, what's left of it. Virgilio, honestly, he was looking at the view from here and he was telling me he was amazed by the view of the village from here. You can see everything, and it also looks like there was livestock here because the land is pretty well maintained. I mean, the vegetation has been grazed. From the aerial view, I couldn't figure out where this lady lives because there's no clear house where she could be living, honestly. I want to take a look here to see if, well, first of all, I don't want to scare her. I want to talk to her calmly to see if she wants to be on camera. If that's the case, we'll report on this village. If not, I'll show you some houses and the most interesting things we see since it's very big. Then we'll visit another village, since I want to see the one I had in mind. Since we're going with the flow, whatever happens. Let's head down to one of the main streets and I'll keep showing you around. One of the first things we want to see is the church, which has an entrance over here, and we don't know if you can get to the church from here or not. We don't know. Is this the cemetery? Whoa, man.
There it is. I'm not sure if the local woman takes care of it.
Maybe it's because it floods and the same vegetation doesn't grow, but yes, here's the cemetery. Does it have dates?
There should have been a plaque here, but it fell apart.
Of course, with how old it is. Do you see any others here to check the dates?
These must be graves too.
No, that must be it. Everything we're walking on has to be graves for sure. But that cross there is curious, huh? The church caught our attention and I wanted to show you, but you can't enter from here. We thought you could, but it's actually accessible from below. Let's see if it still has anything left. We've found the entrance now. This must be the portico where people used to sit. Is it worth going inside?
It's in ruins.
It's in ruins, huh? Wow, but it was big, huh? Wow, it was big. Sad to see it like this, right? This town used to have people. It was quite a big town. But the roof has completely collapsed, huh? How beautiful. It's still preserved here. Look, this is still intact. It had some little stairs to climb up here. What would this be for, huh?
They used to say mass from there, right?
I don't think so. Here was the altar was probably here. But I'd never seen this in a church before. Maybe they had a statue of a saint here? Look, they had light. They had light.
Wow, I thought this village had no electricity.
No, the lady lives without electricity now since there isn't any. But they probably had some like 125 volts or something like that. There's a slope over there we can't go down, since it also has another level underneath. But it's in ruins. That must be the priest's place, right? Where the priest used to live, right?
That's weird, man. It's got like a lower floor down there. Okay, you have to see this.
No, but that's dangerous. You can still see the paintings on the wall, huh? Do you see it there?
Yeah.
We haven't shown you much of the church yet, but I wanted you to at least see it for a moment. We're going to go out and, like I said, we're going to try to go down and see if we can find the lady. And we don't scare her too much. We're going down the streets of the village. And we're shocked because honestly it was quite a big village, you know? Look at this area here. It still gives you a sense of what the streets were like, with doorways leading into the houses. But it's really in ruins. We have seen a few houses with roofs that are still in decent condition, and we hope that one of them is where this lady lives, because we can't understand how a 90-year-old woman can manage around here. We had to leave the car all the way at the top, so just imagine. I'm not sure if the village has another lower access road. I'm not sure about that. So anyway, I'll show you things as they come up. But I'm telling you, seeing these streets like this is devastating and shocking, you know? This house is impressive. I wanted to show you because it still has the balcony. And besides, I think I found where the lady lives because I can smell burnt wood. I think the smoke is coming from this small roof. It's coming out very faintly. Let's hope this is the house, and I hope I don't scare her too much. Hello? Yes, she has kittens. I was surprised. Hello there? Well, the entrance to the lady's house is this one here, and we've seen there's water here. Like I said, she has no water or anything. And well, some relative or someone must do the shopping for her. And they bring her milk, water, and some things she might need. It seems she's either not home or doesn't want to come out. Maybe she's scared. Honestly, I would be scared too at a certain age, living in a place like this. So isolated. Look at these streets, huh? But this area is pretty well maintained. In fact, we can still see the ground, the cobblestones. And it has kittens. We've seen that. Let's check out the village more. She might be out walking and not at home. And if we find her, we'll try to ask her what it's like to live here at that age. In this little corner here, we found this open door. Let's see if I can show you the inside of at least one house. I think you entered the house using those stairs. And here they had a stable. Because I can see the straw on the floor. A feeding trough over here, where they used to tie up the animals.
Did you see what the wood on the feeding trough looks like? Damn it. Look how worn this is, huh?
Yeah.
Exhausted from sticking your head in with the bugs?
Yeah. The construction is entirely in stone and wood. And there's some, it looks like adobe, I don't know, man. There are areas there. Look at this tiny corner and staircase. Alright, let's be careful. The floor seems pretty solid. I think this would lead to the living area. Ah, look, it has a second floor. There was a closet here. It was likely the one from the kitchen. From what I'm seeing here. Look, there's still a strainer here. Wow, look at this curious thing. Be careful, it's in ruins. What is this? What is this basin? An amphora, huh? What would it be, a wash basin?
I have no idea what that is.
I've never seen this in my life, huh? I have no idea what that is. But it is really old, huh?
And is it used for washing or something like that?
I've never seen this in my life. If someone from Soria or this part of Spain sees me and has seen this before, honestly, I'd really appreciate a bit of information. Because I get the feeling that this was the kitchen, but I'm not really sure, you know? These bunches seem like they'd be used for something.
I don't know.
Then there's another floor upstairs, but I don't know, I don't dare. Well, I'm going to be careful. And let's see if there's a room here. Let's see if I can show it to you. Or if the roof has collapsed. No, it's fine. No, it was just an attic, nothing more. There's nothing there. Was this the kitchen, Virgilio? If you notice, the whole ceiling is smoke blackened. Do you see? Just like in Asturias.
But this is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm amazed. I've never seen this in any house. I don't know what it could be. Is it ceramic or is it... It's ceramic. I think it's ceramic, yeah. But I had never seen that type of ceramic work before, huh? How curious. Look at how small those little windows are, huh?
It's just that I don't know if it's made of wood, huh?
You think so? I don't know. No, it's ceramic, no. It's cracked like ceramic and everything. But because it's on both sides there. Did you see how tiny the windows are? It's because of the cold, right? So the heat wouldn't escape from the house. A curious house? Look, remnants of horseshoes. Those are the cabinets they had in the walls. Well, there's not much more to see here. So let's go down and see if we can find another interesting little house. This village likely had well over 100 residents, based on the number of houses and the probable number of people per home. And I'm amazed by the silence that's here right now.
There are still houses up ahead, man. It's really crazy.
Those over there are probably stables, right? For the livestock. Yeah, I think so. They're pretty far away already, those ones over there, but there are a lot of houses. And I'm telling you, the silence here, picturing these streets with people, then seeing them now.
That house looks really pretty.
Trying to find the houses that are the most intact. Like the one you saw there, at least we were able to get in. And around here, there's another one that looks pretty good too. So, that's it. I'm going to show you, so I don't drag out the video with ruins, I'm going to show you the most unique things we find. Every corner we walk to, the houses seem to be in great shape, but they're all still closed. I mean, look at this arch here, how beautiful this street is. And it surprises us because many of them are really well sealed, but they're already completely ruined. Look, the stable was here. We might get in this way later, but check out this beautiful arch that's about to collapse. With the stone still supporting it. Here's another house visible from here. The wall has collapsed, but if we're careful, we might be able to go in and see part of it later. I don't know. Let's go take a look first, and like I said, I'll keep showing you whenever something interesting comes up. Look, here's another house that maybe we can get into safely and maybe even go upstairs. Wow, look what we have here for threshing grain. Look, the stones are still here. This was to rub and see what kind of grain it was. Wheat, right? Look, it's still here, huh? It's still here. I saw this in my hometown, but I can't recall its name right now. I'll leave it down there. But this is for doing this and getting the grain out.
But what are the blades for?
To scrape it and cut it. Uh-huh.
Damn.
I only saw this in a village in Zamora. I never saw this in Asturias. I saw it much bigger. The ceiling is low. These people must have been pretty short, huh? I don't think so. See, they made use of the space under the stairs, right? They used it to put another animal in here. Look, there's another hayloft over there. Also they used to keep animals here, all of this. But you see, they probably had 1 or 2 cows because they only have 2 feeders here for big animals like that. And then all of this here, maybe to keep a pig, some chickens, or I don't know. The structure seems solid, so I think we can go up. This way through the... Yeah, we won't be able to go up. Wow, look, man, look at the details here. There, well, animal themes. It looks like a saddle. Look, there are shoes, huh? Shoes from the people who lived here. There's also a sieve. Look, there are sieves. Ah, no. What's that? I don't know. It's leather. Yeah, huh? It looks like a giant tambourine. I have no idea. If someone can really guide me, someone who's from here, from this area, from the Soria area, or if you've seen it in the Castile in Leon. This wasn't just a saddle. It was where they loaded supplies, the pack saddles. Look, it's stuffed with straw. That's wild. Huh? Made of straw, huh? I think you can see it clearly there. And what's this, man? A can of Coca-Cola. But that's not that old, right? I've never seen it in my life. And I've never seen this can in my life. And there's a lot of shoes, look, huh? Let's go upstairs. This house looks good, huh?
There's a newspaper here. We put in 3 beds. I also like how the stone stairs look. It's really, really cool, man. And then all the walls, you know? The adobe plaster there.
Nothing else, Juan, there. Look, there were beds here. It's just that the floor is bad down there at the end, huh? The beds were here. Look, they had even painted the beams blue and everything.
And another sandal over there.
A table. See that picture? It comes from there. They probably kept the wine there. Look at these beds, huh? Look at those springs. And here would be the fireplace. Yeah, the kitchen was here. It's a shame how things are now. That same shelf caught my eye in the other house. What's this one for?
They had the same shelf with this shape in the other house. It caught my attention. What could it be for?
Look, there are bottles. Look, they put the candles here. Look, they put the candles in this bottle. Damn, there are things from... Look, there's a paper there. Maybe we can see dates. Look, there's one up here. Cleaner.
Horoscope from
68, August 16th, 68. Look, it says here. They probably had the hearth here, right? The kitchen is big. They would make a fire.
Yes, look, it has this round iron reinforcement here, man.
I had already noticed, but I have no idea. Seeing it so ruined, I can't imagine it. And it had another floor, like the other one. Let's look out this window to see what we can see. Mother God. In 4 days. Well, and look at the state of the roof already. Hey, look at this, Virgilio. Look, there's the pig slaughter trough. The one used for the pig slaughter. It's just that this is a bit unstable. And a chest, huh? It's just that this, look how cracked the floor is, huh?
And the chest, can you see anything inside?
I'm going to peek in from here. No, it doesn't have anything. They stored things here in the pantry, right? They hung everything from the ceiling.
Hey, did you notice that detail on the steps?
They are... Yes, I did notice that.
They're notched to rest your foot, which is cool.
Too bad, so many broken pots there. They probably stored wine there. Well, another interesting house. At least we can show something. But this will collapse. Just look at it, huh? This house doesn't have much time left, huh?
Yeah, look at the two beams it has, huh? The two pieces of wood they stuck in there.
Incredible. And that it has a stone floor, man. Stone slabs, you know? Stone slabs up here, you know? This dam is really heavy. It didn't mean they couldn't want a quality house.
No, it's awesome. Damn.
On this street, we've been really lucky. This is the second open house we found. One wasn't worth it, but I recorded this one for you. And here we found this one. The street continues, and there's another one over there that's still in pretty good shape. So, well, let's go into this one and see if it holds any surprises. What an old house smell, huh? This is where the stable was. Well, there's nothing interesting here. Let's go up this way. Look, this is what Virgilio was telling you about. They thoughtfully left room to get your foot under the step while keeping it super compact. But also so your foot would fit well. I'd love to see a whole kitchen to see what they were like here in this area. There are cans around here. Let's see where they came from. Conservas chas. Let's see where these cans came from. Product of Spain. From La Coruña. It says so right there. Conservas Manuel Otero. For example, look, there wasn't a kitchen here, see? On this floor here, there wasn't one.
And the fireplace?
But it did have a hanging rack, look. Yeah, it's strange that it wasn't here because the other one did have it here. Look, you can see the street through this window, look. The one we came from. There are shoes too. Well, this one didn't have a kitchen, look. It didn't have one, huh? Incredible. This is corn, right? Yeah.
Yes, this is corn.
Look, they used to plant corn here too. Funny what you pick up, huh? Even without reading, you get info from places. Coming here is like doing on-site research on how they lived. It blows my mind sometimes. That's why I sometimes avoid looking up information about places I visit. I end up learning more, noticing details, and drawing my own conclusions. And how different the houses in Asturias are. The difference is incredible, the construction, everything. They're similar because they used the same materials, really. Wood, everything they had around them, you know? But the construction itself, if you notice, all of these are pretty much the same, but in Asturias it's the same. They have a particular way of building, and they more or less replicate each other. What do we have here? An inkwell? What they'd use to write with a pen, huh?
Let's see what it says here. Let's see. You can read something. It says ideal.
Yeah, it looks like that's what it says.
Ideal, yeah.
An inkwell. For context, we walked down this street because we couldn't enter the last house. It was completely in ruins. You can see the roof there collapsed. This is a stable. And we've come across this view from here in this meadow, which is really well maintained. And I wanted to give you some context, like I was saying. We've already walked down this whole street. We're going to try again to get in through here, to the center of the village, which is where most of the houses are already completely in ruins. And let's see if I can talk, like I was saying, to the lady, because I would be really sad to leave here without being able to talk to her or have her tell me something. But, well, it's understandable that an elderly lady, 90 years old, wouldn't want to come out to the door of her house because she's afraid. We're two men here, she doesn't know us at all, and it's very complicated. Many think it's easy to reach places and talk to people, but it's actually quite complicated in these isolated areas. So far I've been pretty lucky, but well, you don't always get lucky with these things. Even so, just the fact that you've seen that a 90-year-old lady can live in a house here, honestly, I can't believe it. Virgilio and I have discussed how she manages here.
No idea, because on top of that, it's hard to have... I mean, everything is in ruins, man.
Of course, and I don't think...
The houses are nothing but stone and weeds.
I don't think she leaves the house. They'll bring him water and stuff like that. Even though they said she was doing well, you know?
But this place isn't exactly easy to get around either. It's just you don't know. Not even the paths are clear. No.
She probably knows them by now, but honestly, we're kind of going crazy trying to explore it. Even though it's beautiful. Wherever you go, look, right? What a view there is from here. We wanted to speak with you for a moment if you're here. Well, family, we haven't managed to contact the lady. She must not want to come out because there's smoke coming from the house. In fact, well, I don't know if you can see it from here, but there's smoke coming out from here. So, well, we're going to have to leave without meeting her. It's a shame, but like I said, I completely understand. But just imagine the circumstances this lady must have gone through to end up here. I leave with my own theory about what might be going on. I think she wanted to stay here to spend her last years. Her son and family or whoever is close to her will bring her things. Even the civil guard, the local police, will bring her water and supplies. Because I don't think she can walk through these streets and the paths we've traveled, which you've seen in the aerial shots. I don't think she can get through them. I've recorded men who, even at 90, manage on their own. You can see videos of that on the channel. They visit the village, shop, then return. It seems surreal to me. The limitation is in the mind, as I always tell you. I think we'll wrap up the video now. I hope you liked it. Tomorrow I plan to meet my friend, who will show me another nearby little village. That's it. I'll leave my social media here if you like the content. See you in the next video.